I find it amazing what God does with the small and the ordinary, right? There's this teaching in the Bible, right, that when Moses went up to the mountain and he met God up there, and God was telling him to go and go to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh to free his people and all these things, and Moses was just like, suppose they don't listen to me, suppose they don't believe me. He was coming up with all these excuses, right, to not go and do what God was essentially telling him to do. And God's response to him was, what's in your hand? And Moses said, well, it's my staff, right? And history shows us the amazing things that this ordinary staff did. This staff that Moses used to throw on the ground that turned into a snake that ate the magician's snakes. This staff that Moses and Aaron put into the Nile River and turned it to blood. This staff that Moses held high and it parted the Red Sea. This very ordinary stick did such amazing things, right? And then if you read further, you read the story of David and Goliath, right? And the story goes that, David was this small dude, and he couldn't wear the king's armor, and he couldn't carry his sword. So David, he was a shepherd, so he was used to defending the flock with his sling. So David went out and he found some rocks, and David used these very small rocks, and he put them in his sling, and he wound up, and he threw these very small rocks, and they hit this big giant in the middle of his forehead. And ultimately, as the story goes, David defeated Goliath with these very small stones, right? God can use the ordinary and the small to do miraculous things. I know there's people out there, myself included, that have often thought that my gift is insignificant. It's so small in comparison to what other folks are doing. But see, let me tell you something. It's not the size of the gift. It doesn't matter if it's big or small. What matters is, has your gift been consecrated to God? Have you given your gift to God? Because if you've given your gift to God and your gift comes from God, guess what? God can use whatever gift you have for amazing, amazing purposes. So listen, don't get caught up on how big your gift is. Don't get caught up on how small it is, right? What this person's doing, what that person's doing. If you're using your gift for the kingdom of God and it's been consecrated unto God, listen, God will prosper that gift. God takes the ordinary and he takes the small and he does amazing things with it. Don't ever forget that. Y'all be blessed today. This is your man, Jamel.